Hey guys, it's Luca with Learning MTG, and today I'm going to do a video called David Mills and the Understanding Line. So, for a lot of my Magic player viewers, you may have never heard of David Mills, even though he was one of the greatest Magic players to play Magic. Just he was in the very beginning of the game, and I don't know how long he played professionally, maybe only for like a couple years. For example, you can see
I believe they're on game 2 right now.
in this
They
video
believe in the
here,
future of.
David Mills is playing against John Finkel in Pro Tour Chicago 1997. So, what is it about David Mills that I'm going to talk about here? So, it turns out that David Mills, after playing Magic, he ended up starting a company that was kind of like an online teaching people. It's like an online course teaching about digital marketing. So, it taught SEO, Facebook ads, Google ads, that kind of stuff. And I took that online course. So it was just kind of cool. I was like, wow. And also Mike Long, if you guys have heard of him from Magic, they were two of the owners of this business. So I thought it was kind of interesting. Like, here are these Magic players, and now they're in a completely different space. They're in like the business space, in the marketing space. But basically, David, aside from kind of the topics of SEO, he taught like general strategy. So how to like approach your life in a strategic way, which I think definitely for myself and probably for a lot of people that watch this channel, it's like it just works. Like it's a type of teaching that will fit with you very well because you're already used to looking at things strategically from playing games like Magic. So basically, he talks about the understanding line. And this is really all about measuring progress. How do we measure progress? And this ends up actually being really important. You may not realize this. So the whole theory of the understanding line for David Mills is you want to measure progress by your understanding. You want to see how far you've kind of pushed your understanding on a certain topic, in a certain subject, in a certain line of work, and that is going to be your measure of progress. You don't want to use other measures of progress. For example, let's say let me show you when I'm not using the understanding line and when I have not used it in the past. For example, when I came back from school, I wanted to be an entrepreneur, and for the first 4 or 5 years, um, you know, I made either no money or negative money. So if I were to like graft my money on a chart, it may look something like this, where I'm like under, like negative values, positive values. I'm losing money, right? Because I don't yet have the skills to be profitable in business. And so for the first 4 or 5 years, I was losing money. And actually, that was how I measured my progress. To me, you know, if I started making money, that means I'm making progress. And if I'm losing money, that means I'm not making progress. I'm moving backwards. But this isn't really the case, right? What if instead I had measured this based on understanding? If I had measured based on understanding, my understanding was going like this. It was going straight up. Every day I was getting farther ahead than I was before because every day I was learning new things. I was many things from failures, right? We learn a lot from failure. And so I was actually getting better and better and better at being an entrepreneur, and I didn't even realize it because I was measuring it based on money. And so it's not a complicated concept, but it's huge, and it totally changed my life on using this concept. That basically you don't want to measure by the typical things that you might measure by. For example, if you want to get healthier, you may not want to measure that by your weight or the way you look. You may, according to David Mills, what you really want to look at is, how much more do I understand about my body? How much more do I understand maybe about the psychology of why I eat a certain way? How much more do I understand about um, whatever, how much more do I understand about metabolism, and how much more do I understand about different nutrients, and how much more do I understand about being hydrated or whatever. How much more do I understand about different qualities of different types of foods, right? So it's really a totally different approach to life than what we're used to, because I think we're used to measuring our progress by our results, and this can really lead you astray. because there's a lot of randomness in results. There's a lot of noise in results, right? You can be doing, we know this as Magic players, you can make all the right plays, your opponent top decks, and you lose the game. Does that mean that you know, played incorrectly? No, it doesn't. And on the other hand, you can make a bunch of terrible plays and you can top deck the perfect card and win the game. You don't want to be results oriented. You don't want to you don't want to evaluate the quality of your decisions based on your results, because sometimes your results are based on a little bit of randomness, a little bit of chance. So really, David's idea was to measure your progress by your understanding. So, you know, if every day you're learning, if every day you are have a deeper understanding of the dynamics of whatever it is you want to master in life, then you're making progress, and you should be happy about that. And the results will follow. You know, they may be a little bit lagged, there may be a little bit of randomness in the results, but they will follow. And I can tell you personally, when I started applying this idea to my life, you know, I became much more relaxed about things, and yes, I got better results at things. Um, Another quick thing I want to add, there's this amazing, brilliant article by Jerry Thompson. Again, you know, Magic players will you know who Jerry Thompson is. He basically wrote an article which was like, you know, Magic players are a little bit too short-sighted, where they may be a little bit too focused on, okay, winning this game or winning this match or even winning this tournament. Instead, Jerry said that he took a longer approach to Magic, and he thought of, you know, Magic not as a series of tournaments, but as a whole. Like, I'm going to be a Magic player for 10 years or 20 years or 30 years. And so he was willing to make decisions like, okay, I'm going to play this deck in this tournament, even though it's suboptimal, even though I might lose a little bit of percentage points in my chances to win, I'm going to be learning so much more from this tournament by playing maybe a new strategy, trying a new thing out, trying a new sideboarding technique or whatever. And so by experimenting and by lowering my chances of winning this specific tournament, I can actually increase my chances of winning all my future tournaments. Because again, you're moving forward that understanding line, you're building your understanding, and you're not optimizing for the short term. You're playing the long game. So that's all I wanted to talk about. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.